Hey everybody, my name is Steven and welcome back to the Storytime channel. Without wasting any time, let's get into our stories of the day. My entitled parent neighbor hates me for not seeing her sick kids. My personal conflict with my neighbor Karen, the living definition of an entitled mom, just missing the hair, is that she thinks that having a doctor, me, living nearby means she has free access to checkouts and formulas. I found out about this pretty soon after moving in, and since then I had constantly refused her calls, visits, or whatsoever, and only help her in cases of emergency. Normally one of the kids getting a deep cut or the small one having a particularly bad asthma crisis. For her, this is not enough, and we have at least 2 clashes per month about me not doing my job for free. Ignoring my oath. People love invoking the Hippocratic Oath when they want free things and blah blah blah. With this intro, you can imagine how life has been with COVID around, and it got to its breaking point some nights ago. Apart from the pandemic, my country is in the middle of the rainy season, meaning you can get any other kind of respiratory virus as easily as the coronavirus, if not more. But obviously, we always have to think in the worst possibility. 3 days ago, Karen came to my door at 7 p.m. saying her kids were coughing, had a fever of 39 degrees Celsius, and that the small one, the one with asthma, was wheezing. Without opening the door, I told her she needed to take them to the nearest hospital immediately, but she refused because she didn't want to expose herself or the kids in the ER. She wanted me to see them, verify if they had the virus. She seemed to think I could do that with just a physical examination, and give her a formula for a new inhaler because the usual one was not working on the kid. I said no because the kids could have COVID. Small chance, but still possible as I know they've been going out a lot, and needed to be properly tested. Even if it came out as negative, it was obvious her kids needed more than an inhaler for the crisis he was having. There was a lot of bantering between the two of us, which quickly escalated into both of us shouting and her slamming my door. Thank God it is made of metal. And threatening to sue me. I knew this was pointless, so I escaped into my room and put my noise-canceling headphones on. Who knows how long she was out there shouting at my door, but in the end, she took her kids to the ER. As far as I know, the big one is back home, but the small one is hospitalized. I don't know if COVID status on either of them. Gossip goes fast in this neighborhood, and I already found out from some friends that Karen is bad-mouthing me, with many of the other neighbors taking her side. I also told this story to one of my colleagues, and he said I should have at least seen the child if he was as bad as she described. I still believe that examining the kids without the resources to treat them would have just pointlessly exposed me to a possible positive case, even if I wore the few biosafety clothes I had in my house. I recognize my past story with Karen could be clouding my judgment, but that doesn't mean this woman's entitlement is not on another level. Thanks for reading, guys. So why don't you let me know? Should OP have gone in and checked on the kids? Or was she fine to insist that she go to the ER instead? Let me know in the comment section down below. Entitled Dad lies to me about my mom's memorial service, tries to make me feel bad about not coming to see him, tells me to go to heck when I stand up for myself. Hey everyone, I wasn't quite sure what to title this one. It's a long one and it's kind of a follow-up to another story I did on a different sub because I tried to post it here but didn't have the karma. For reasons that should be clear from the title, my mom won't be in this story. So this happened recently, so the information is fresh and a little more reliable than last time. My mom recently passed away. She had gotten cancer in her lungs and heart and was headed into surgery for the lungs when her artery burst. Lovely thing to wake up to, right? When I told people what happened, they asked if I would be going to the funeral or memorial service, whichever they were having. I told them I would try, but I needed to know when it would be first. A short phone call with my dad told me that she was being cremated and that there wouldn't be a memorial service. So I decided, well, in that case, I'll just come down to say goodbye, grieve in my own way, and see friends and family I hadn't seen since my last trip or since before I moved. Now, learning my lesson from last time, as well as taking some advice from people in the other sub, I paid for my own ticket, despite people offering. I spent as much time as I could avoiding going to see my dad, and there were very good reasons for this. The first is that I'm staying with my biological sister. I was adopted, and I knew the moment he saw I was with anyone he didn't know, he would freak out. The second, more important reason is that, to be blunt, he had cheated on my mom They were in the midst of a divorce before she died. To make matters worse, he was living with the person he cheated on my mom with. And if one of my adopted sisters is to be believed, which she has no reason to lie to me, in a trailer that was supposed to be my mom's. Now, as someone who nearly destroyed his own life by cheating before he saw the error of his ways and got his you-know-what together, cheaters get no respect from me, especially when you're all but dancing my mom's grave by living with the person you cheated on her with. Well, I had been here about 4 days and had stayed the night at a friend's house when I wake up, and who should be calling but my dad. This is how things went. Cast: me is me, D is my dad, T is undisclosed person who dad cheated with, A is adopted sister who gave me crucial information, H is adopted brother who offered, important later, to pay for my plane ticket but instead gave me money for food so I could eat while down here, C is other adopted sister who was also told the same lie about the memorial service, B is biological sister who I've been staying with this entire time save the first night. Dad says via voicemail, "I guess I don't count since me and your mom are getting divorced. You've been here a week spending time with everybody else." Not true, I'd spent most of my time with biological sister and only gone out the first night at that point. Any other time was because she had things to do and I came with, so I wasn't by myself. "If you don't come to see me, I need to know why." I ignored him because the night before, biological sister and I had been in an accident on the way back from seeing our grandmother's grave. We had hit a dead deer that no one felt the need to move out of the middle of the road. So I was banged up, had a massive headache, and was in no mood to be yelled at. Well, adopted brother had other plans because I also got a call from him. After I made it clear I wasn't in the mood, he relented and just asked me to go see dad. That's when I got a call from adoptive sister. She was calling me about something unrelated. But what she told me toward the end of the conversation made me just the tiniest bit agitated. She says, "You going to the memorial service for mom?" "What memorial service?" She says they're having one at the end of the month. Well, this is news to me. I was told when I was planning on coming down there wasn't going to be one. She says, "Okay, I'll get some more information and get back to you." Now I, like most of you probably, thought maybe he changed his mind and he was planning to tell me. Boy, was I wrong. The next day, I get a text from my adopted brother's phone and the following conversation occurs. Cheating lady says, "This is cheating lady. It's not right how you've been here for a week and haven't seen him yet. He is grieving too. Is he not good enough for you to come see him? You need to come see him. Grieving isn't running around with your friends, and he told me to tell you this, but it's not right one bit." Me, thinking to myself, oh yeah, I'm sure he's devastated, and you're there comforting him. I say to cheating lady, first of all, I haven't been running around with my friends. I've been spending time with biological sister. There's a difference. Cheating lady cutting me off. First of all, you had all week to see dad. Adopted brother paid for you to come down here to see dad, and that's not right. Dad said he doesn't want to see you now. Mom died and he will cope with it by himself. This hurt him a lot. Get your facts straight. Adopted brother gave me spending money so I could have food while I'm down here. We paid for my plane ticket. Second of all, don't tell me how to grieve over my mother. This is why I haven't come to see him yet. I don't need y'all yelling at me and teaming up on me. I knew they would. I'm dealing with it in my own way. Cheating lady says dad said go to heck. Don't come see him or call him for anything. Bye. Now, the wise but pissed off redneck in me was tempted to quote Wild Wild West when he told me to go to heck by saying, "After you, sir," but I didn't want to say or do anything I would regret. So I just left them on red and went about my day. Then, yesterday, I messaged other adopted sister to see if she knew about the memorial service either, or if I was just the black sheep of the family. Turns out, no, she didn't know anything either. This is where things get interesting. I got another call from adopted sister. Apparently, the only person dad told was her. He expected us to write her eulogy and obituary for him to read at the service. How exactly did he plan for that if we didn't know about it? So my sister, the amazing person she is, decided her level of F's given was at 0 that day. She told me a lot of things I either didn't remember or misremembered. I won't go into gory details, but let's just say, if there wasn't a statute of limitations, might have said that wrong, the police would like to have quite a few words with dear old dad. This dad sounds twisted, emotionally manipulative and abusive, liar, cheater. It's terrible to hear about. And I feel like OP is completely justified to keep his distance at all times. Grandma Karen calls police and child protective services on me for assaulting her grandchild. I colored her hair pink. I've been babysitting 2 little girls, 3 and 5, for over a year now. I know their parents since I was a child. I'm 21 now, and we get along very well. A month ago, I decided to dye my hair in a red-brownish color. When I babysat them, they loved it. Their parents are quite okay with little girls playing with makeup and fashion, so when I was done babysitting, I asked the mom if I could bring some fun fashion things to play with the next time. That next time was last week. When I got there, I opened my beauty case and showed them what I got. Necklaces, costumes, hair ties, makeup, frozen perfume, and pink hair dye. I asked both of their parents if it was okay for me to dye their hair pink since it's their favorite color. I informed them that it was temporary hair dye designed for kids and it could be washed out immediately, so it was pretty much harmless. The parents laughed a bit with me and told me it was fine, but they specifically asked me to put them in a bath without washing their hair. I guess they wanted to see it in the next morning? They said goodbye and told me that crazy bud grandma would come home around midnight to pay me, la-dee-da-dee-da. Some amazing haute couture hours later, the doorbell rang. It was only around 9 p.m. and the girls were still awake. I put them in their bathrobes and night diapers. I was getting them ready for bed and put them in front of the TV and went to open the door. It was Grandma Karen. She was almost 3 hours early. Without even saying hello, she entered, almost knocked me over, and while walking to the living room, she opened her purse to get a 50-euro bill. As soon as she went to hand me the bill, she seized their pink hair and lost her darn marbles.
What in the Jesus and Mary have you done to my babies?
Oh, don't worry, we just played fashionistas. It's okay, it can be washed out. Runs to the girls and starts screaming hysterically.
What has she done to your beautiful golden hair?
Ma'am, it's okay. Mom and Dad know about it.
Shut up. Who do you even think you are to just come here and assault my babies?
Proceeds to scream at me for a couple more minutes.
This is child abuse. I'm calling the police on you, you effing child molester.
Okay, so at this point, I started to freak out. Even though I knew I didn't do anything wrong, the thought of being interrogated made me almost poop my pants. She freaking held me hostage in the living room while continuing her screaming and moaning. She even wrinkled the 50-euro bill like toilet paper and shoved it down her pocket. Curse words after curse words left her mouth.
Oh my God, I can't believe Mom would even hire someone like you. You probably have a criminal record, don't you? I hope you freaking get 20 years in prison, you racist slur. You ruined my babies' life. You traumatized them. This is child abuse. The police are on their way.
Evil smirk.
You will never find a job again. Oh, babies, did that witch hurt you? She did, didn't she? Oh my God, did she also cut it?
I didn't.
You've probably been assaulting them for months now, huh?
Think about the most Karen you know? Double her age and shorten her hair. That was what I had to deal with for almost half an hour. Oh, and she also said that me coloring my hair like a prostitute was a bad influence for kids in general. Anyways, I was able to text the parents during her rant. They arrived not too long after the police and a child protective services officer. You can only imagine how they reacted, but they couldn't leave until my parents arrived to make sure everything was okay. Officers left, Mom and Dad freaked out. They kept apologizing to me. Mind you, this was happening all in front of the girls because Grandma Karen didn't let me put them in bed. Not only did she give me the most violent verbal attack I have ever seen, she also ruined the parents' date night. When I left to go home, I started crying. But hey, I got paid double that night and the girls' hair looked fabulous. P.S. Since she lied about me assaulting the girls and verbally attacked me, I can charge her for it. Police officer gave me his number to contact him if I wanted to. Should I though? I really want to put her in her place, but that would affect the parents and I love them so much. It's a tough situation. The grandma definitely deserves something, but I think it probably would strain the relationship, possibly irreparably. with the parents if you did that. Just my 2 cents. But with that being said, that's all the stories we have for today, so what I want to know is, which of these stories was your personal favorite and why? Let me know in the comment section down below. And thank you all so very much for watching and listening to the Storytime channel today. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing and don't forget to turn notifications on so you'll never miss an upcoming video. Thank you all again for watching and listening to the Storytime channel.